welcome back to Budget Below. Now, I know you cannot see my face as much as you would like to, um, but jokes aside, I do still have issues with my webcam. But as I said, jokes aside, you don't need to see me. I think what you need to do is actually to focus on a couple of things. As you recall in the previous video, I can provide the links. I've created the multi-currency converter for the cryptocurrency, which has an extra complexities around if you would like to change between the fiat and the crypto stable coins. And obviously, in that case, when you select fiat, it would only pick up the currencies. If you would select crypto, it would only pick up the um, the stable coins. Now focusing on on the stock investment. So I've redone this, and that's how the model works. So essentially, it's going to be quite simple, but it has right now, I think, the better logic in terms of the previous model, and most importantly, it does have the multi-currency converter, and that's what I really wanted without any fuss about creation of the graphs or the transaction trackers. I really want to show you how would you be able to do that essentially. So and the way that it currently works, so first we're gonna tell the model which is our base currency, and then we will go to our watch list, and then in this kind of a watch list, all we need to do, for example, just say Apple. I already have Apple at the top, but nevertheless, you can see once I've added Apple, all information has appeared in terms of the year-to-date returns, 52-week chart, 52-week high, low, volume, PE ratio, EPS, market cap. So you can actually see this. So all we need to do is actually just to have the ticker. And then once again, once you start adding new ones, obviously you're able then to categorize whether you want in terms of the growth, value stock, dividend stock, blue chip stock, technology in terms of the like technology, healthcare, financial, AI, crypto in terms of the sector and the country where the company is. But this is very easy to do and to set up, given that you can add the categories, sectors, countries here. I've already provided, and the only thing is just a reminder, if you really want to make sure, for example, since I'm based in the UK in London, if I want to make sure that I do have my kind of conversion, for example, the key parts to remember that Google Finance is based on the USD dollar, which is on it's logic on it is what it is by the end of the day. So users who are from the US probably are in a slightly better position, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter. The key part is that you will use obviously the Google Finance. You'll use the open quotations. You type currency, put colon, and then you type USD GBP. I think I did it right. And that's what it's supposed to give us right now. So it's loading, and that's how you actually do this. So all you need to do is type the currency, the main currency, which will be then converted to your currency of interest, and that's kind of the main formula behind. So you can add more fiat or rather currencies, whatever that you really want. So I've added for the euros, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars. I mean, you name this. You can, but that's kind of the logic. So it's easy to replicate. And then obviously once you add the watch list, there is a trading journal, portfolio, and the dashboard. And I think it's kind of a self-explanatory. So that's how the model works. It's very easy as I said, because once you do the quickly setup, you add the ticker, and then you do quickly transactions here. All you need to do is just like type the date of the transaction, the stock that you wanted, Apple, so we want to buy. Maybe you want to buy again, we can cite GBP, and then we say how much will be the quantity, 5 shares, maybe it's for the three, I do for the $200. Perfect. So it kind of calculates. So we spent 1,000 on this one, and then it automatically goes to the portfolio where I have all the cost value, average cost, life price, etc., 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 calculated. And that's kind of how easy it is. But let me just build. But I'm gonna shut up right now. I'm gonna go and we're gonna recreate the multi-currency converter, and that's it. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna just because as I want to focus completely on multi-currency conversion right now. Um, Once you get the or if you want to see the model, there's one part which there are two parts which I've done before. The first one is I've done just a quick uh, reference to all the currencies and comparison in respect to the dollar. Then I've done the transaction tracker, and then all I've done is convert again my one of my favorite date functions is end of the month, so I convert a lot of times. I would convert in my dates, and I would include either end of the month and a year. But for now, I'm happy just to include the end of the month. This is predominantly for the portfolio growth graphs, where I can actually um, get around the specific, again, volumes, quantities, and prices, and actually attribute towards the end of the month how much that's actually the portfolio growth has happened. But the key part is, as I've said, in terms of the currency conversion, there are two things which are important to do. First, we need to do two steps. First step is actually convert all our transactions into the USD, and that's and that's kind of the single most important realization because Google Finance is in USD. So whatever transaction we will need to do is first we need to convert everything into USD. And if then our currency model main model currency is not USD, we will then reconvert them, and that what becomes essentially a an ultimate amount, an ultimate total transaction. So and to do this, all we need to do is actually to have a division. So we'll have to our total transaction cost will have to divide and we'll have to divide by the amount which is based on this currency, and it's going to be quite an easy one on the currency of the transaction. And for example, the first transaction is in GBP, therefore I need to divide my 2000 divide by the GBP, which will convert into the dollars. And for this I can go to my essentially just um, I can do C. So I can need to go to my transaction backend. I will select my index with an absolute reference, and then I will match. That's not how you match things. Match is written differently. That's how you match it, and then that's how I match. I will match my currency of my transaction with the currency of my with the column where I do have the currencies, so, and it must be equivalent in size when it comes to my index function. And then comma for the row, or rather for the column here right now. It feels strange between the rows and the columns, but I need to put two here because I need to refer to the second. You can see second column here, so which means that I will need to find the number which I need to be divided by. So H5, I will be dividing by the amount of GBP because it can convert and write the value of GBP. So close the brackets, press enter, and done. So what it does essentially, it tells me that this transaction, which was equivalent to 2000 GBP, is equivalent to 2,684 dollars and 8 cents. And if I'll do Control C, Control Shift down, Control V, that's how it's gonna be. Okay, so the reason if and a thing, but we can really do the if and a function. For example, here we can do empty. Let me double check if I'll just do Control C, Control Shift down, and then there you go. So if and a, very simple. How do we gonna do that? So let me just delete everything, by the way, which is here. So the next thing, what we really need to do right now is actually not like that, but we need actually to reconvert back to the currency that of our main model. And our main model is right now it's dollars and USD, and therefore that's how we need to do. So essentially right now it's I need to do the other way around. I need to multiply uh, my conversion to the USD into the main currency, which means I'll need to do exactly the same thing, but this time around I need to multiply my my converted into the USD transaction into by the main model currency, and that's how you do this. And it's going to be very simple because we're going to go back to our index. We'll refer back to the transaction tracker here, And then for the match function, the key part here is that we're going to be looking for the USD and we'll have an absolute reference. So we don't want to move this value here, and then we'll be comparing against our currencies, which are in column B5. We want to have 0 and then obviously 0 for the exact match, and then once again 2. So press enter, and there you go. So what it means is that this amount here has been converted to the dollars, and sorry, to the dollars exactly, and that's why you see the same one. But look what will happen now. If I'll Control C, Control V, what will happen is that this transaction that has already been done in dollars will not change, and that's where the power of this model is. So whenever transaction which has been made in dollars, it will remain the same. And whatever change we're going to make to the model in terms of the currencies, it will then convert it to the main currency, and that's how main model currency. So the key part is first conversion to the USD dollars. Once converted to the USD dollars, convert to the main model currency, and it's simple as by simple division and multiplication of the using with the index and match function. So that's how what I wanted to really focus on you today. As you can see, everything is changed. So for example, if I move my first transaction back to the USD, what will happen to convert into the USD and convert into the main model? So columns I and J will be equivalent to 2000. So I'm just going to quickly do this for you. I will just go and I will select, for example, here USD, which here nothing changes, but look what happened at the back end. At the back end, you can see, as I've said, all these values are the same. And then if I want to have, if I want to have um, euros, I'm going to go back and I will actually conversion backend. You can see this is I converted just 2,000 euros into the 2,000 euros converting $2,321.83. Um, and that's kind of the power of the model, and the rest is kind of it's very simple, very identical. I think the key part is for you to remember sometimes that obviously um, I do have a linkage with my watch list, so it's actually the ticker, the name. You can see there will be a number of different more complex formulas around that, but nevertheless, I think it's quite cool what you can do when you can achieve essentially. So you have average cost there, cost value, average cost. I mean, yeah, I think we are. I think I'm happy with the current status, and as you can see, so the total value will match absolutely the total value here, and it will match the total value in the graph as well. So everything, once everything is linked, everything is quite good. The only thing which I would do is actually I would convert. The only thing I could convert, we could convert essentially is um, to convert the live price um, in your main currency here. So for example, when I see the last and previous, um, I think that's the only thing. So the previous close, 52-week high, 52-week low are convertible to the main model currency. And that's probably where what should be doing is actually we need to we will have to be doing this essentially. Well, let me actually do that with you and let me show you how to do this actually. Okay, so now let's do the final part. The only thing that we will have to do is to multiply the current price, which is in USD, by the main currency of our portfolio. So all for this, you already are likely to be guessing that I will be applying once again the index. And for the index, I'm going to go to my as the main data range for index. This will be between B5 and C to cover the whole range match. And for the match, all I need to do is right now go to my setup, and this is obviously will be in GBP as of now. Uh, Then there is an absolute lock, absolute reference, just to make sure if we move, the cell doesn't change. The value of that cell doesn't change. Go back. Then once again, B5 to B, absolute reference, 0, perfect. And then for the second part is obviously number 2, because we want to be multiplying by the value of the currency. If I'll close now the brackets, fingers crossed, that perfect. All we need to do actually right now is Control C, Control Shift down, Control V. Make sure I'll have the whole range to be in this, and perfect. And the last thing is right now I can multiply this. You can see this formula, Control C, in my previous. So for example here, I'm going to be multiplying this by this formula again. You'll see well, the prices will change now. For some reason we do have uh, a lot of decimals, but let's keep it to 2 decimals. And then once again, Control C, Control Shift down, Control V, and then let's move up again to the top. Where else do we have the price? We have the price in 52 weeks high. So all we need to do is actually, once again, okay, I don't need to do this, but I need to copy my index. Right now, you can see I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to be multiplying this part. So done. And let's do quickly here as well. Okay, this is done. Control C, Control Shift down, Control V. And the last piece which I wanted to do is actually here, Control C, Control Shift down, Control V. I think this is in respect to the price as well. So there you go. I think what we could do there, but it's probably going to be, I'm not gonna lie, the market cap will be um, a bit of an issue there, but um, given that we do have a lot of kind of uh, a lot of there, but let's give it a go. If not, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bother much right now, but let's try. Let's give it a go, see if it works or not. And I'm sorry if it doesn't for now. Control C. I haven't yet tried this, and then I will multiply this by index. Something tells me it's not gonna work, but yes. Um, Values parameter, number of values, but it's a text. Okay, it's just the formatting way that we've decided to do that. So for now, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it like this. So we're gonna have the market cap in dollars, but for the prices right now, for example, if I'm gonna go change back to USD, look what will happen now. Can go to the watch list, and now again we have the prices in USD. So perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. So index here as well. Where else? We've put in 52 weeks high and also 52 weeks low. Perfect. I think this is it for now. So essentially, that's how easy, hopefully, it is. Just remember that probably the key critical part is if you want to apply, just first of all, create um, like this kind of a currency converter or currency just to show off the currencies, the values against the dollars. And then if you do have the model currency, right, and then you'll have extra transactions either for the crypto, stocks, personal finance. You can do with the index and match. You can actually do that. So it's not that complex. And in case you're interested in the stock investment portfolio, I'll put the links below. And to whoever, just by the way, because this is a new feature. Um, Whoever has got the model before, I'll email you guys. I'll message you. So once again, thanks so much, everyone, and I'll see you the next one.